welcome back to the show. My name is Jesus Velasquez, and this is one of my best friends, Jordan Zacharias.
How's it going?
And so we are doing video format now. I hope you guys are excited as much as I am. But anyways, let's get on with the show. And we're going to do something, we review horror movies, we review the 80s, 70s, we did some Christmas movies. But it's March Madness, and actually the tournament, the NCAA NCAA tournament, basketball tournament starts today. And we thought it'd be really cool to do our own
March Madness.
Our own March Madness, reviewing horror movies, pitting them against each other. So we have our bracket here, but before we actually get to that, we had 30 movies and we had 2 spots left. So one way to fill those 2 spots was to make another bracket, an 8 movie bracket. And so we're going to get that out of the way right now, just because we got to fill our 2 spots.
Yeah.
And so it's right here. You probably can't see it, but I'm going to read it. It's an 8 movie bracket. And so only 2 of these movies are going to make it to the actual tournament. So these are the movies that are on the bubble.
Okay.
So the first 2 movies that are against each other are going to be 2017's Get Out.
Oh, okay.
And that one's going to go against Pet Sematary. Not the 2019 one because it's not out yet, but the original one. Yeah. And then The Omen from the 70s. That one's going to go against Misery from the Kathy Bates in the 90s. And then we're going to have Child's Play, Chucky. From the 80s, go against Army of Darkness, which is from the 90s, Bruce Campbell. Actually, and correct me if Child's Play is on, I'm pretty sure it's late 80s. It could be early 90s. And then we're going to have the 90s Seven, the movie Seven, with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey, go against Re-animator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're going to do that right now, because we got to fill these 2 last spots. So we're going to discuss which movies are deserving to move on and make it to our March Madness horror movie bracket. So here we go. Let's start with the first 2 movies, Get Out versus Pet Sematary. So Get Out is a movie about an African-American guy that goes and...
Child's Play was 88.
88, okay, cool. So it was in 80s. So anyway, so Get Out is about, it's one of Jordan Peele's, it's his first horror movie. I don't know if it's the first movie in general, but I know he was in that TV show. But
was his first directorial?
It might have been his first directorial, yeah.
Okay.
And so, but it's such an amazing movie. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you've seen horror movies, you should check it out. Great social commentary, great movie in general, really creepy.
And I still have not seen the whole thing.
You have not seen the whole thing? Oh man.
Okay,
well you need to check it out. It's definitely...
No, it's not that I didn't like it or that it wasn't good or anything. It's one of those movies I just never went back to.
Yeah. And I think maybe like a lot of people told you about it, so like, okay, I kind of have an idea of it. But
it's just one that slipped through the cracks. Yeah. I really do want to see it. I love Jordan Peele, so I do want to see it.
And so it actually, like Us, actually comes out tonight, so I want to check that one out.
That one looks interesting too.
But that one was really good. It's one of those things that it's more kind of Twilight Zone, Hitchcock horror than kind of like horror,
So thriller, suspense.
Yeah, a little more like that. I guess in a sense you can maybe say kind of Psycho-ish. But I still think Psycho is more like a horror movie. But so we'll come back to Get Out. But Pet Sematary is a novel by Stephen King, and so that one came out in the 80s, and that one's about a man whose family cat dies, takes him to the pet cemetery.
Everyone knows the story.
Yeah, so it comes out. Yeah. So anyways, combining these 2 movies, which one deserves to go further in a horror movie bracket?
Okay. Being a person who hasn't seen Get Out, I would say that one seems to have much more. Get Out seems to have touched more on the times and the political climate and the social climate, and it won a couple awards, didn't it? He won Best Director, Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it was director, screenplay.
Screenwriter. Okay, I can't remember. I think it was the writing. Anyway, my point is that Pet Sematary is a fun movie, the original in the 88 with Judd.
With Judd, that's right.
Well, I got Pet Sematary. Anytime we can do a bad, whatever his name impression. I always forget the actor's name, we both do.
He's Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. But so the point is that Pet Sematary was a great movie. I don't think I ever read the book. No, I didn't read the book. Mm-hmm. But it was a fun movie and stuff like that, but it wasn't... to us now, it's kind of a timeless classic and stuff like that. If you're a horror fan, you've seen Pet Sematary probably multiple times. But back when it came out and stuff, it wasn't anything super special about it. There was no landmark, anything about the movie itself. Maybe the shock of seeing a small kid get hit by a truck or whatever, but
that
all down. In a nutshell, the point is, I think Get Out was dealing with more than just like a fun, suspenseful story.
Yeah.
It actually was dealing with social issues and things like that. So in a significance, what I was trying to do is look at, okay, you know, if you want to talk about 30 years from now, or 40 years from now, 50 years from now, will people still talk about Pet Sematary, or will they talk more about a movie like Get Out?
Yeah, and I mean, I think Pet Sematary, because Pet Sematary came out like in the 80s, it's like that's almost 30 years ago. So it's definitely stood the test of time. Maybe not to the prestige of Get Out, because I mean that movie won an Academy Award. It was universally liked. It wasn't like it was like, oh, people just love it. It's like it's all hype, you know.
Yeah.
I still think that movie will stand the test of time. It's only been 2 years for that movie, but horror-wise, I mean it's hard because I watched Pet Sematary when I was a kid, so it's hard. There's a lot more scary elements, like the ant that was pretty creepy. Which is weird because the kid getting hit by the semi, a spoiler if you haven't seen it, getting hit by the semi when I was a kid.
Was it Gage?
Gage, yeah. When I was a kid, it didn't really hit me, but as a parent now, it's kind of like, oh man, I can't even watch that.
Stuff happening to kids in movies now really affects you.
And so it's hard, but we got to make a decision because we got to get through these.
Let's keep rolling, dude. Let's keep rolling. It's got to be Get Out for me.
Oh man. I really want to pick Pet Sematary, but I can't.
But you know it's the wrong pick.
I know it's the wrong pick, so I'm going to go with Get Out. So we're going to Get Out, moves on. All right, so the next two movies on our bracket.
What do we got?
The Omen versus Misery.
Ooh. So the two I haven't seen in a long time.
So The Omen is pretty much, I mean, basic story is that a couple adopts the Antichrist. And so the Antichrist Antichrist. So the Antichrist is pretty much he's bringing in the apocalypse, the revelation, and the end of times, and so it's pretty much like an origin story of that.
Quite good.
Yeah, quite good. Seems like a good kid.
Yeah.
He's failing algebra, but
he's fine. All for you. What's his name?
Damien.
Yeah, good job.
It's all for you, Damien. Creepy. Thinking of that movie in the sense of like reality, you're like, that's kind of creepy, like the Antichrist and everything, and the kid's really creepy, and things that happen are really creepy.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, it drags. It's a little slow, but there's a lot of scary elements on that one. Now for Misery,
it does drag.
Misery with Kathy Bates, same type. It drags, but in a different way. It's crazy. You've seen Misery, right?
Yeah, it's more of a Hitchcockian, suspenseful build-up.
Yeah.
It's a long build, yeah.
And here's the thing. I think with Omen, it drags and there's creepy elements about it, but Misery is so well... I mean, Kathy Bates is amazing.
Oh, she's amazing.
And so it's just like, just to go from like kind of sweet, kind of homey, like homeschool weirdo.
I also think James Caan doesn't get enough credit for that movie.
You're right.
They're both great in it together. Mm-hmm. Like their chemistry is perfect.
Well, I mean, that movie has the horror suspense of the sense of like, oh, like I love the part when he like unties himself and she's coming home and he has to like retie himself up. It's like, oh gosh. But and then with the whole sledgehammer I mean that's
palm sweating scene.
So I mean. The Omen, you know, one of the guys gets his head decapitated. There's a lot of creepy scenes.
David Warner.
Yeah, that's who talked about that. There's a lot of weird, scary parts, you know, religiously, if you believe in that, which can be kind of scary and eerie. Definitely scary, but I think
it's got Antichrist. It's got weird religious stuff. It's got David Warner.
But I think, for me, it's got to be Misery, because it's just really well acted. There's a lot more suspense horror. Not necessarily supernatural, scary horror, but it's got that horror.
I agree. Plus, David Warner had a much better performance in TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Wait, what was he in that?
He's a scientist in it.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh
gosh. All right, so we're picking Misery to move on.
I choose David Warner. We want Warner. We want Warner.
All right, this one's gonna be our hard pick here for me. I know. Our next one is Child's Play. Chucky, my man Chucky, going against my other man, Bruce Campbell, Army of Darkness. Oh man, I don't even know what to do. So anyways, Chucky, if you watched Child's Play as a kid, like in the 80s or 90s, I mean, it was creepy. Obviously got a little more slapstick and a little more comical as time went on, but the original Child's Play was really creepy. A doll that like came to life and was like killing people and scaring you and scaring a little kid and trying to possess him to take over his soul and body. Creepy. And Chucky's like
Brad Dourif.
Yeah, Brad Dourif is an icon. I mean, and there's a lot of great quotable lines. It's funny, it's scary, It's campy. It's everything.
It's got the mom from Seventh Heaven.
Exactly. It's got
everything.
It's got everything.
It's got not Christopher Guest. It's got
the
Fright Night.
Yeah.
Fright Night.
I don't know. Fact check us on that. You know who
Princess
it is.
Bride.
Yeah.
Fright Night. Yeah.
So, anyways, for me, that is a complete staple horror icon movie of the 80s. He's tier 2 with Jason, Freddy, Michael, all of them. So, I mean, I love Child's Play. Army of Darkness, though. I mean, it's Bruce Campbell. I mean, Boomstick, baby.
I think I've got a way that will make you happy.
Okay.
Why we can choose Child's Play.
Okay.
Simple fact of the matter is that by the time that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell all of them got to the third Evil Dead movie, to Army of Darkness, they didn't do a horror movie at all. So, if as a horror movie fan, Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, not just horror lists, it's at the top of all my lists. Probably same with you, I bet. Love the first Evil Dead, love Bruce Campbell, love Sam Raimi, love all of them. My whole thing is that by the time they got to the third one, the first one, they truly tried to be scary, especially when it was originally a short called Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
I think is what the original one's called. Or The Woods, something about the woods.
Yeah.
Anyway. So there's something in the woods, I think is what it was called originally. Anyway, so whatever it was. So the point is they go from that, then they get funding, they make Evil Dead. And that was more intense, more scary stuff like that. It was taken seriously for the most part. There's a couple slapstick, Three Stooges-esque, which influenced them a lot. Scenes in there, but it's mostly serious. Evil Dead 2 starts to go way over the top quickly. Super funny, fun, whatever, but still kind of in the horror genre. But it's still, there's some legit freaky parts. But it's mostly slapstick. By the third one, they go full slapstick.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness is a throwback to the serials of Errol Flynn as Robin Hood. It's a throwback to, like, literally, if you go back and watch those, that's what they were doing with Army of Darkness. It was an old school serial, like a Flash Gordon or whatever they show before movies in movie theaters. It was a serial.
Now that I think of it, you're right. I mean, there are monsters in the movie, and there are like creepy, scary effects.
Yeah, and every horror movie fan lists Army of Darkness in one of their top movies. Their top
but you're right.
Movies.
Thinking about it, it's more of a medieval, kind of he's there in the medieval.
It's an adventure movie.
Yeah. And so, all right.
You listen to the soundtrack. It's adventure. It's like horns. Dun, dun, dun,
I love
Bruce
Campbell.
Triumphant and stuff. Me
you're
too.
Right.
He's my favorite.
But you're right. I'm gonna pick Child's Play because we got Evil Dead still in the tournament, so we still got. All right, so we're gonna go with Child's Play. I did not see that coming, but we're going with Child's Play. All right.
Figured it.
All right. Next one. This one's gonna be.
Oh no, we got another hard one. What is it?
7 versus
Sure.
Re-animator. See, 7. Okay.
Ooh.
So 7 is one of those movies that it's like
Who directed
it's kind of well, it's definitely listed as horror for the 90s. It's more kind of I wouldn't say crime drama, but it's definitely suspense thriller. I would categorize it suspense thriller horror.
Wait, what is?
7.
Oh, I think you're talking about Re-animator.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm talking about 7 first. So, 7, not Re-animator.
I got so confused. I'm sorry, dude.
7, suspense thriller horror, but it is an amazing movie because it has to do with the 7 deadly sins, and 7 is just the.
I really spaced out there. I apologize.
So no, it's cool. But I think that's where 7. It's hard because it's one of those movies where it's really established, it's really well acted, top tier characters or actors. But Re-animator is one of those movies that it's a cult classic. It didn't fly under the radars. I mean, it's not got the following of a Jason or Myers or Chucky, but it definitely has a following.
I think that's a fair argument. I think that's a good way to look at it. Is that 7 is a great film. David Fincher is one of my favorite directors. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman in it. Well, Morgan Freeman is fantastic in the movie. Brad Pitt is really good in parts, and then there's parts of what's in the box, where you're just like, why would you go with that acting choice like that? Ugh.
But it's so quotable now. What's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? But so it has a lot working for it, where it's a really well done movie. Like you said, it's a good crime drama, etc. Yeah, I never would classify that as horror. Mm-hmm. People may disagree with that. I know it is sometimes found in the horror sections, like if you're at a if you're a Blockbuster. Where am I going with that?
Yeah,
anyway.
Blockbuster. But if you look at the top horror movies, like they make a list for the 90s, it's always there. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's always there.
So my point is, though, that's more, I agree with you, that's more of a crime drama thriller, and whereas Re-animator is straight up Evil Dead, slapstick, gore fest, off the wall, funny, goofy, whatever. And it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So unfortunately on this one, as much as I love Fincher, as much as I love Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, all them, it's not even a contest.
Okay.
It's got to be Re-animator. If you're a true horror fan, 7's not horror. I'm sorry, it's just not.
I'm waiting for the comments of people who are going to cuss you out and disagree.
But if you are a true horror fan, you also would not disagree with that.
That's true. I'm not.
You can't be a true horror fan and hate Re-animator.
You're putting me on the spot, so I am not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I love 7, but yeah, if we're talking about horror, it just can't go there.
Yeah.
So Re-animator.
Can't touch it. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
2 words. Herbert West. Dr. Herbert West.
All right.
3 words. Doctor. Esquire. 4 words. Just kidding.
All right.
So what do we got?
So here we go. This is the finals. So one of these 2 movies is making it to our bracket.
Okay.
Get Out versus Misery. So we already talked about Get Out. We already talked about Misery. Both. I mean, actually, I think both. I don't know if Misery was nominated for Academy Award, but they're both really good movies. They're kind of in that basis of they're not like your traditional horror, like if you're thinking of Jason or you're thinking of Michael or you're even thinking of like not
Kathy Bates won for that, right?
I think she did. And so yeah, so I mean they're both actually Academy Award winning movies for just the acting, the screenplays, the direct. I don't know if they won.
So Kathy Bates won for Best Actress.
Okay, for Misery. So there you go. So I mean we got 2 heavyweights here, and we got to pick one.
Yeah.
Get Out. It's fresh in our minds. It's great. It's got, like we said, the social commentary, everything. People love it. It's universally liked. Misery, same thing. People love it. It's really great. Universally loved. I mean, okay, I won't say universally loved, but I think a lot of people definitely like it. I mean, I think there might be those horror fans that might think it's a little slow. It might be a little draggy. It's not like traditional horror. So there's that. Whereas like Get Out is kind of punchy. Most movies, horror movies, that are made now have to be punchy because people lose interest.
Right.
So
short attention.
So yeah. So Get Out.
Media and whatnot.
Yeah. So Get Out definitely has that. So it's like it grabs you. Where Misery kind of takes that setup, where it's like when James Caan,
it's a bit of a Shining type.
Yeah.
Setup
Exactly.
Like, at least the vibe is that's.
So, yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna pick Get Out because as good as Misery is, for me, I think, like I said, what sells me more on Get Out is the punchiness. You know, it starts off, there's like maybe a little bit, but there's something's happening. It might not be scary, but something's happening. Whereas in Misery, something's happening, but it's like it's slow.
Again, it's Hitchcockian. There's nothing supernatural.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of there's that tension. It's more realistic, so it's freakier because you kind of see it as something that could happen to you.
Yeah.
Like I mean, not that we're all famous authors or something, but it's the idea that some whack job could just kidnap you. It's similar, I think, or parallel in the same way of thinking of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you could run into some weirdos out in the middle of nowhere and you could be in trouble. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a hard one.
Like I said, for me, like the one thing I love Misery, but I remember, or not remember, like I watched it maybe a couple years ago, and just I remember sitting there waiting, and then like when James Caan, the whole car, he goes off the road. And then it's kind of like maybe 20 minutes where it's just kind of like him in the bed, kind of slowly recovering, which is still amazing because it's that slow boil where you're like, wait, something's not right. But
you know what though, dude? Even before we go into any more details about it or anything like that, I think the bottom line is, like I said, to be fair, I've never seen all of Get Out yet. So I will defer to you on this one. You get to pick it.
So I'm going to go with Get Out.
All right.
It's like 1A and 1B for these 2 movies, and I think Get Out gets the
edges out. Okay.
You know, like I said, they're both Academy Award winning movies. They're both greatly acted and universally loved, but I think Get Out makes us do a dance. All right, and here we go. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Child's Play versus Re-animator, and I'm telling you this is hard because I think the 2 of us are picking one or the other. So we're gonna have.
No, what you're saying is you think you're gonna pick one, and I'm gonna pick the opposite one.
I guarantee that. I could be wrong, but I know where this is going because the last thing I said for Child's Play, I was sold on it, 100%. We didn't even have to battle. I mean,
are we picking the same movie?
No, I already know. I'm picking Child's Play. I already said that before. I already told you why.
Okay,
See, I defended Child's Play when it was going against Army of Darkness, and so I stick with that. And you were defending.
But that one's easier to defend against Army of Darkness.
And
again, not a real horror movie.
You were defending Re-animator against Seven, which isn't a real horror movie. So now there are two real horror movies from the 80s. How do we decide? I mean, my decision is that Child's Play. It's a capsule of horror from the 80s. It's got everything from start to finish. It's got humor. It's got scary. It's got like a good creepy story. You know, a guy, a serial killer possesses a doll, wants to
Brad
Dourif wants to possess a kid. Yeah. No one believes that this doll is talking, and it's just like kind of like, is the doll like what the battery part when he's like, oh, like there's no batteries, and then he turns his head.
Yeah.
I mean, it freaked me out as a kid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just.
There's so many fun classic lines in that movie, and I guess the only thing. Okay, so obviously I think you're picking Child's Play over Re-animator. You got it. Okay. My whole thing is that, they're both horror icons to me. Or Dr. Herbert West and Chucky. They're both horror icons. Chucky is a bigger horror icon. I don't think you can really argue that. If you're a true horror fan, you love Re-animator. It's such a great movie. Stuart Gordon directed. Jeffrey Combs acted in. Just hilarious. Great, splat stick, horror, gory, over the top, severed heads doing things to people. Like, it's just it's a classic horror movie. It's so great, especially for '85 and the budget they had and stuff like that. I think they did a really good job. I guess my whole thing with Child's Play is that it's a little slow in certain parts, so it's not one I would just pop in anytime to watch.
Yeah,
I'll watch it during Halloween for sure, but I don't even watch it every year though.
Yeah.
Whereas Re-animator, I pretty much watch almost every year around Halloween time. I don't know. What about you?
See, for me, it's the opposite. So it's like Re-animator. Okay, so like I grew up on Chucky. Like I actually saw it when I was a kid. You know.
Yeah.
I think it came out like in '88.
Which could be a partial bias of yours too, if there's a nostalgia factor.
And there is, because part of it is I did watch it as a kid, but Re-animator.
But you admit that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bias. But like I watched Re-animator in college, and a few guys, and for me, Re-animator is just it's a memory of good times when I was in college. Like those were fun times, freedom, no responsibility really. And we're just watching a funny, ridiculous movie where...
I like you say no responsibility. We're legally adults.
But no. When I mean no responsibility, I mean we weren't married, we didn't have kids. Like the money we made, we could spend on whatever we want, more or less. So no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Idiot. That's it. No defense. Chucky's going through. Re-animator is disqualified.
From your stupid argument, you dumb idiocy.
But anyways, I think Re-animator was it reminds me of a fun time in college, and because we love ridiculous movies. It's not that it's a ridiculous good movie, and the thing is, just like you watch Re-animator every year, I don't. I only watch it.
You don't?
No, I only watch it with you guys.
Oh, okay.
I don't put it in on my own. I don't watch it on my own. If you guys want to watch it during Halloween time, let's watch it. But it's not one movie that I'll watch. But Child's Play, I will. And maybe it's biased because of the nostalgia, but it's one movie that I can sit down and watch by myself. It gets me in the Halloween spirit. Obviously it's not as scary now as an adult, but it reminds me of okay, this was a scary movie, but still a good movie.
Yeah.
Even the Child's Play that's coming up in 2019, I'm gonna watch that one. It looks cool.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah, for me, it's Chucky. Here it is. We're going to the dance. We got one spot left, and we got all the icons. We got Voorhees, Krueger, Leatherface,
and is it
Myers.
going to be Dr. Herbert West, or is it going to be Chucky?
I mean, Chucky's got to be with all his buddies.
If that's the lineup, or that's the usual suspects, kind of style one,
exactly.
You have to pick one out. Dang it! Okay, dang it. Okay. Last thing I'll say.
Okay.
Re-animator has a huge cult following. One that Child's Play I don't think has. It's more of a mainstream following for Child's Play. I think it's more of a wider reach for a horror movie. It's much more recognized. Yes. But the people who love Re-animator love it way more than the people who love Child's Play.
I agree.
It's got a huge cult following, and I think it's a more fun movie to watch from start to finish when you sit down. The music, the acting, the goofiness, the lines, memorable scenes. Dude, Child's Play has some great lines, hilarious scenes, memorable scenes, but I think if you're to stack them up in Re-animator, it's almost just as many. Yeah. In my opinion.
And I think Re-animator in general is probably a better, they have better special effects, they have better, the story is actually better.
It's just a little more fun.
Yes.
It's more over the top and campy and fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but I gotta go with my man Chucky.
You know what it is?
What?
It's 60s, 70s, whatever, Batman TV show versus Nolan Batman.
No, it's not. No, it's not that whatsoever. Get out of here. Anyways, we're going Child's Play. I don't know if that was clarified.
I think my analogy was perfect. No, yeah, you gotta give it to Child's Play. Chucky's an icon.
So Chucky goes to the dance, and he's gonna meet Get Out when we get to that spot. All right.
Boom.
So anyways, when we come back, we're gonna have a ton of movies that we're gonna go, and we're gonna go to our 32 horror movie March Madness bracket.
Do you know there's like Batman, the TV show?
Anyways, we'll be back.